Hey, and welcome back. We're just testing something out right quick. Why is nothing showing up? What is happening here? I don't know what's going on. There we go. There we go. My display capture was on. Weird. Really, really weird. Very, very odd. Very odd. Have no idea what that was about. But we're back again for another short stream for Tiny Bunny. It's not going to be a long one because I still got to go to work again tonight. I'm going to have to work Saturday. Hopefully Saturday will not be a full shift. But it's probably going to be a full shift since we have to work Monday. Okay, so I remember where we left off last time. What are we doing next? I shuddered, chasing away my delusions, and looked around. There were only me, this white field, and the wind that was whipping up icy dust and belts of powdered snow. I squinted from the sun and turned my eyes to the sunless forest. It looked especially dark in contrast with the blinding whiteness. Knobby tree roots slithered under the snow like fat snakes. Rotten leaves and coniferous needles frozen to the ice. Dry, prickly branches intertwined, bringing uncomfortable thoughts about fences. Were they protecting the forest, or were they keeping something from breaking out? Some object was hanging from one of the pointy branches. Blech. Sorry, everybody. I tried to get closer, drowning in snow, and when I almost got to the edge of the forest, I saw a knitted mitten. It looked like a wooden bird among the hungry semi-dark. Should I take it to the police? Their senior officer looked gloomy, but he still reminded me of Captain Casanova from my favorite TV show called The Streets of Broken Lights. Okay, but why is that important? A Russian mystery. Oh, these are based off real things. Again, I forgot. TV series telling a story of the daily life of Russian police officers, like this remaining series of the history of Russian TV at the moment. Oh, cool. He was also anxious, with tired look in his eyes, but still brave and strong. Will this man help them find the lost boy? Vova! I heard a distant shout, looking like it came from the river. Vova! As if the trees were calling out to someone. Vova! It sounded closer to me. Someone was standing there behind the trees, hiding. Vova! I knew someone was looking for the lost boy, but still, something was unsettling about that figure. Its stillness, how it was bent unnaturally toward the ground. Its blackness. There's no one there, just branches and roots. It's all just my imagination. A nearby boy flapped its wings loudly. I think I said boy just now instead of bird. A shadow split from the tree and disappeared from my sight. I looked away for just a moment, but when I turned my gaze back to the same place, it was gone. So it was my imagination after all. Silence reigned for a painfully long time. My muscles were tightly sprung, my heart was beating somewhere in my throat. Any noise, any little movement, any small whisper from the thicket, and I'd sprint. But nothing of the sort happened. I looked at the mitten once more. Well. I say take the lonely mitten from the branch. Oh, no, that was that. Oh, no. Vova! What the hell, you creepy bastards? A shout rumbled across the field and dissolved in the distance. No echo, no hope for a reply. What the fuck? Go away, you creepy fuckers. I stepped toward the bristly trees and tried to claim my find. It didn't budge. I pulled hard and the branch cracked and the mitten tore off, landing in my hand with a squishy sound. All wet, all too heavy, wet. I squeezed it without thinking, and something dark spilled from it, forming a tiny string between the mitten and the snow. Steam rose from the snow pile. No. I froze in place, standing in my palms in disgust, red. The sound of cracking branches invaded the silence. I didn't have to think twice before running away. Someone was chasing me from the darkness, breaking pine branches, closing the distance with great, giant leaps. Snow was slowing me down. Crazy thoughts flew through my mind. I'll get caught. They'll get me. I'll get dragged into the thicket. I'll be gone forever. But there was one more voice, probably one reason it gave me strength, spurred me on. You can do it. Don't stop. I heard an animal roar behind me. It was so loud my ears went numb. It felt like the sound had come from a pack of hungry beasts rather than a single one. Their nostrils sucked in freezing air. They sensed my fear. Two giant wings flapped above my head. An enormous shadow flew over the clearing. A hoot, a wheeze. The roars were coming from all directions now. From the dried up raspberry bush, from the twisted pines, from under the windfall. Hurry, run, don't look back. I felt like I was inside a nightmare. The snowy clearing became vicious like quicksand. Viscous. Ugh. I was stuck in place. I pulled my leg from the mushy trap just to be caught in a new one, even deeper than before. I continued to drown, sinking deeper and deeper with every desperate push. Was snow ever this sticky? I screamed in horror after realizing this wasn't snow. Someone or something in the snow pile was clutching my pants. I gathered all my strength and rushed forward. The pressure on my leg was gone. My boots slipped out of the hole. My soles were on a hard surface again. I reached a clear path with one jump, and from there ran to my house. Its gloomy facade didn't look threatening now. The house that was line of defense from the shadows that flapped their wings and creatures that were hidden under the snow. I tripped over the doorstep and smashed into the door. In all my hurry, I still managed to notice the claw marks, as if a dog were striking the wood with its paws, demanding to be let in so it could escape the cold. I hadn't noticed these marks when I was leaving. A heartbeat in my ears was much louder than my surroundings. I couldn't hear whether someone was following me or not. What if they were already in our front yard and Mom had locked the door? Drowning in fear, I pulled the doorknob and obediently gave way. I rolled into the hallway and shut the door behind me. Porch planks creaked as my pursuers ascended the stairs. My fingers slipped off the lock and I couldn't click into place. I gritted my teeth and pulled hard on the iron knob, whipping it between the boards. I stared blankly at the door. Someone was standing on the other side of the pitiful, flimsy barrier that was probably less than useful than blankets. Wheezing breath reached into the house and crashed at me in waves. It smelled of pine and sweat. Mom peeked out of the kitchen and chastised me with the same frigid voice she always used when talking to Dad.
Что конкретно тебе не ясно в просьбе не хлопай дверьми?
Я случайно.
I snuck a glance at the door. The smell was gone. The breath was too. If there was someone in the first place, of course. Here, mere 5 meters away from Mom, my fear was slowly weakening, melting like snow in spring, and with it the last bit of strength I had left in my body too. My legs gave way. I propped myself up against the wall so I wouldn't fall over. My mom's expression had changed immediately. The cold mask of strictness and detachment was gone. Mom looked the same as before, all those quarrels. She finally saw my condition, my wet pants plastered in the snow.
Ты где был? Я тебе что говорила, а? Чтобы ты дома сидел. Я и для тебя пустое место.
I got afraid she would cry. I reached out to her like when I was very little and wanted her to cuddle me. But Mom regained her composure fast and put up her usual face. Her eyes shined like steel. Her voice rang out.
Сигареты пропали. Признавайся, ты их стащил? Курить бегаешь?
Там за мной кто-то гнался. Я думаю, меня...
I started as soon as I started to explain myself. Tears welled up in my eyes. Mom leaned toward me and sniffed my clothes like a bee searching for the smell of tobacco. Then she squared her eyes in suspicion and looked into the front yard. Her expression changed in an instant. She covered her mouth with her hand.
Гляди, вон же они. Прямо у забора.
My heart started thumping as if it became prey once again. My pursuers were following me in the field. I could swear that I heard something scratch at the door, just like in my nightmare. Mom beckoned me with her finger. I gathered all my remain brave and looked into the kitchen window, facing my fear. I could barely discern some hairy silhouettes swimming in the snow through icy winter patterns on the glass. Dogs. Just a small pack of strays with no name and owner, barely reminding of the hungry monsters that live on the edge of the forest.
Божечки, ты их испугался? Да они сами тебя перепугаются, Антон.
Они гнались за мной, словно за зайцем. А вдруг они бешеные?
A smile slowly disappeared from my face. Now she looked at the dogs as if it was her first time seeing them.
Что если они нападут на Олю?
Мам,
Вот бы твой отец их всех перестрелял.
мама, они живые.
А что? Ты уж определись, они тебе друзья или враги? Не маленькие ведь уже.
Mom sighed in annoyance, and I felt so bare that I bit my lower lip and fixed my gaze on the cobweb-ridden corner just to keep myself from crying. Well, some detective I am. In reality, I wasn't risking my life among monsters, but rather my pants among a pack of stupid strays. What for? What use do I have for this? Mitten. Of course. A dark and sticky mitten that belonged to the lost boy made a squishy sound in my hand. Seems like I was clutching it the whole time. That's my trump card as a detective. I heard to present this clue to my mom.
Мам, смотри, это Вовина варежка.
This is Vova's mitten.
Ну того, про
My
которого
boy the
утром
police were
милиция
asking
спрашивала.
about in the morning.
Она вся в крови, на дереве висела. Вон там, могу показать. Давай в милицию скорее позвоним, как нас участковый просил. Мам, гляди!
Фу!
A shadow of doubt slowly crept on her mom's contorted face, as if she was trying to remember something distant, like someone tries to remember their dream, but the image slip away.
А ну-ка прекрати сейчас же. Оля тебя услышит, с ума сойдет. Она и так не спит, на все подряд жалуется. Еще и ты со своими шуточками.
And at that moment, I realized the man was actually wet from snow. There was no blood whatsoever. I went to sink through the floor from embarrassment.
Иди сюда, паникер. Да не стой столбом. Вот, таблетку на.
A golden-colored pilgrim and some dead wasps fell onto my
Я
palm.
уже пил сегодня, за завтраком.
Попререкайся мне еще. Сказала дом сидеть, нет же. Был бы отец, выпорол. Сейчас же выпей, а то ночью не уснешь. Тебе ведь в школу завтра.
So I had to swallow the bitter medication, drinking it down with similarly awful water that gave off a taste of chlorine. Maybe it wasn't Vova's mitten. Maybe it wasn't a mitten at all, just like the forest monsters. And Olya's owl. Am I going mad? What kind of kid is this? What's happening to me? Either the pill had an immediate effect or my overexerted brain didn't let fear inside anymore. Serenity washed over me, bringing yawning indifference along with it.
Антон, выпил? Можешь, если захочешь. Раздевайся. Уснул, что ли?
Нет, мам, просто задумался.
Интересно, о чем же?
Так, глупости.
Mom scrutinized me with suspicious eyes, as if she wasn't sure she was looking at her own son, not some doppelganger that came from the forest.
Точно все нормально? У тебя такое лицо было, когда милиционер про окно спросил.
Все нормально, мам.
She heaved a deep sigh.
Хорошо.
It seemed like the house had changed. The sofa's fabric had become discolored. Fingerprints appeared on the bathroom tiles. The light bulbs also felt different, dimmer and yellower. Even the saliva inside my mouth had a different taste. A melody from Aladdin could be heard from the floor. Olya was down rewatching her favorite Little Mermaid episodes and switched to other tapes. I slowly changed into my home clothes, stopped before the sink and studied my reflection in the mirror, like I was trying to solve one of those spot the difference puzzles. Then I went upstairs. Jafar and Iago's voices died down. I walked past Olya's bedroom and slipped into my own. Oh. Oh. Wait, no, that can't be. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. I turned to becoming an artist since my dad bought me my first comic book. Fly magazine with the coolest, especially like the big space related edition with alien monsters and that funny episode about a gendarme. I started drawing all kinds of stuff since that day, and I seem to be getting pretty good at it. One of my letters even got published in Fly once, based on that I even published my comic. Okay, but you got Leonardo over there. Triceratops. Cactus. You're in Russia? Why is... Poor St. Lucas are during the day. Entangled tree branches in the distance, snowy field between our house and forest brought sleepiness to my eyes, but sometimes I would still catch myself looking into the window at the treetops instead of doing my homework. Are we just gonna ignore that Olia is behind the curtain there? We gotta ignore those toes? Okay. One of the doors was empty. I hit the mitten there. The simple action drained the last bit of strength from me. She's still there. It creeps me out. I sat on the bed. And only then I noticed there was someone behind the curtains. My tired hand dropped to the sheets. Whether it was due to the medication I took or the stress I away, the room began to contort as if the window was blowing the walls out like a pair of sails. The corners of the room bent and undulated. The only stable thing in the whole room was the figure between the windowsill and the curtains. A flimsy piece of cloth was stuck to my hidden visitor. It reminded me of burial sheets.
Оля?
Who else would be staying there? I stood up and licked my dirty lips.
Оля, очень смешно.
The silhouette was unmoving. It was enveloped softly by the curtains, as if there was a thick layer of darkness there, not a human being. I reached toward the curtains, beat my heart, controlled by medication. The wind sang in the field like the chorus of voices. For a second, I wanted to return to the bed, just lie down and watch the same person behind the curtain, knowing full well they were looking back at me. They're looking without blinking, waiting for me to fall asleep. Plastic rings rustled against the holder while I pulled open the curtains.
Попался! Да я сразу понял, что это ты.
A blindingly bright halo lit up above Olia's head, with the setting sun as the background. My sister was shining. When she was just a baby, Dad always used to say she was shining with happiness. I always retorted, but Dad, she's not some flashlight. But I brought her to the window one day and sunlight poured onto her smiling face. I felt like I was holding a light, woven child.
А я все видела.
Да ну!
Что ты спрятал?
She was just like my mom when she was little, before she put on her sad mask of tiredness and switched to her commanding tone of voice.
Ничего, просто...
Ты что-то украл и теперь прячешь?
Oh, for goodness sake.
Ты вор?
Что? Глупая. Ничего я не крал.
A clear image came to mind, that mitten hanging from a tree branch. What if I did steal it after all? The forest from the tilted figure standing behind the black trees. Olia could be selfish and stubborn when she wanted.
Покажи тогда.
Поклянись, что никому не скажешь. Тогда покажу.
Olia wore a plotting smile.
Клянусь маминым сердцем.
An oath she heard in one of the movies about the pioneers we've watched. Shut up, fuck, Hans. Umbrella term for communist children organizations existing around the world, somewhat reminiscent of Scout movement. Oof. So, like, the Boy Scouts under a different title and for commies. Gross.
Не говори так.
Leia nodded and made a gesture with her hand, locking her mouth with an imaginary key. She was filled with curiosity that was flashing in her giant eyes. Ooh, excuse me. I opened the drawer and Olia leaned in, holding her breath. It looked like there was not just a simple mitten, but some sort of exotic critter.
Это чья-то варежка?
She said that as if she couldn't understand what she saw.
Один мальчик потерял. И сам потерялся. Теперь понимаешь, как опасно гулять в лесу, особенно детям?
Ему, наверное, там очень холодно. Его найдут?
Обязательно. Участковый по домам
The
ходит,
police are-
всем фотографии его показывает.
I keep forgetting I'm supposed to let, whenever there's voice acting going on, just let them talk and then let you guys read if you want to. And then only read when I have to. It was a long night. Excuse me. And I'm tired. Oh yeah, traverse the room with care and press your tiny palms against the window.
А почему он по домам ходит, а не по лесу? Боится?
The question caught me off guard.
Милиционеры ничего не боятся. И лес они прочесали.
Yeah, right. Flashed it. My cloud mine. Did they really check every nook and cranny where darkness, cold whispers of icy branches dwell? If that's the case, how did they miss the mitten? Or did it appear later? For me. I changed the topic, as if trying to get Leah as far away from possible from the forest thicket.
Если я сам найду пропавшего мальчика, нам, может, награду дадут. Кучу всякого, как в поле чудес. Клёво же.
Leah wasn't listening to me. She was pacing the forest with incredibly dull eyes, uncharacteristic for her.
А что, если эта сова его утащила?
Ерунда.
Nonsense.
Не может сова поднять человека. Но вот что...
I was picking my words with the utmost care. I forced them out of my overexerted brain.
Ты в лес не суйся. Мне кажется, он какой-то, как бы сказать, проклятый, что ли.
Как в сказке?
Just like in a fairy tale.
Нет, скорее, как на той страшной кассете, что родители прячут.
Oh yeah, shivered and stole a glance at the window.
Я видела, как ты убегал. За тобой кто-то гнался?
Нет, просто, чтобы мама не волновалась, спешил домой.
As I looked at my sister, my heart was tearing apart. She was so fragile, it was so easy to step on her light. A gust of wind, and her small heart would be gone.
Хорошо тебе. Меня вот мама не пускает даже на крыльцо, как принцесса в башне сижу. Никуда не могу выйти. Так и умру тут от скуки.
Не придумывай. От скуки еще никто не умер. У тебя же есть я и мультики, а мама с папой скоро помирятся.
Знаешь, что бы я загадала на следующий день рождения? Чтобы родители тоже в детей превратились. И мы бы все вместе играли, как раньше.
Jesus Christ, that's so wholesome. Okay.
Ага. А если бы они стали размером с жука, то мы бы их в спичечный коробок посадили.
Тоша, пойдем на Дина смотреть.
Fatigue went over my desire to be with my little sister. I was washed over by some sort of heinous apathy.
Вымотался я. Что-то не хочется.
Ну пойдем. Мне скучно одной, а мама занята все время. Можно выбрать другой мультик, который ты еще не видел.
Да я все наши кассеты наизусть знаю.
А вот и не все. Ты Питера Пэна не видел. Помнишь, ты уснул на середине? А там потом такое. Ну пойдем, пойдем.
Давай попозже.
Рассказать тебе, чем все закончилось?
Утром расскажешь.
Утром не захочу. Придумала. А давай в прятки.
Нет, Оль.
Тогда нарисуй мне динозавра.
Оля, блин.
Нарисуй, нарисуй.
Да оставь ты меня в покое!
I blurted it out without thinking, and then I was immediately taken aback. I'd never screamed at my little sister like that. Leah stared at me in shock. Her lips started trembling, and her curse started to tears. My chest was seething with disgust and embarrassment. What's happening to me? I heard to prevent Leah from crying.
Ладно, уболтала. Давай смотреть мультики. Только недолго.
Уже не хочу.
I can't wait to put my hand on her soft head.
Пойдем. Питер Пен посмотрим.
Ага, ты опять уснешь.
I smiled and looked at her chin. Her eyes were wet and felt bottomless.
Не усну, обещаю. А потом я тебе целого трицератопса нарисую.
Ура! Трипи-цирипопса!
Ну, почти.
Leia rubbed her eyes with the sleeve of her pajamas and a shiny smile returned to her face.
Давай ты пока кассету перемотаешь, а я у мамы попрошу сгущенки с хлебом.
Wow. Okay.
Только утром свежий привезли, как ты любишь.
Неси, только аккуратнее, а то разольешь. Опять ругаться будут.
Спорим, не разолью. Кассета где-то в тумбочке. Поищи пока.
Oh, he disappeared in the doorway and I dragged my feet into the neighboring room. Oh, Lord. The old photon TV was gathering dust in the corner. All that was left was clicking the button on the front panel. The tea warmed up and a familiar white noise started dancing on the dark screen. I almost reached out to turn on the VCR when the noise calmed down and a blurry image appeared for a moment. It was a dark taiga forest, just like the one outside my window. The picture split the screen in half. Something creepy resembling human speech was coming out of the speaker. Just a few minutes later, the singer was again trying to noise. Did it catch some rogue signal? Local TV station only really showed Soviet cartoons, and even that was pretty rare. You know, just recently I used to always watch Robotech before school. It was so awesome. Maybe I should tinker with the antenna. What if I catch this channel again? On the other hand, Leia had asked me to find the tape. It wouldn't be nice to disappoint her. But in my sleepy state, I didn't have the strength to do all of it. Yeah, do right by your little kid sister, you shithead. You made her cry. I mean, yeah, she's being kind of bratty and junk, but she'll get to be a little once. Just spoiler for now. I sifted through the shelves of full dolls and blue hippos from Kinder Surprise. I found the tape. Oh, was that Predator? That's awesome. It was that Picanoka. I can't pronounce that. Oh wait, that's Little Mermaid. Yeah, that's Flounder right there. You see that little booger? That's Flounder. Here's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Thanks to his shabby spine. Okay. I got the black rectangle for its box. Ooh, oh, snap. Does that mean I would have gotten a different achievement if I, chose to run the TV? What the heck just happened? The tape inside it rustled while rewinding to the beginning. This rustle was lulling me to sleep. Drowsiness attacked me while I was squatting before the TV. Images whirled in my head, me and Olio flying above the forest, tumbling in the soft clouds. My little sister is laughing, but her smile becomes more and more forced with every passing second. I noticed the clouds underneath us part, burying the bristling pine tops. Swampy darkness slurped among the trees. The wings are no longer able to hold us. And Olia.
Ты не смотришь без меня?
My sister brought the tray with unevenly cut bread and a whole can of condensed milk. I rubbed my eyes.
Нет, садись.
Oh, she brought them tea? Coffee?
Мама с папой опять ругаются.
У них сейчас период такой.
Глупый какой-то период.
On the screen, Wendy was hiding Peter Pan's shadow into the dresser. Olia was entertained by the cartoonish dog and Nana.
Может, и нам родители собачку
Maybe
купят?
Mom and Dad will buy us a dog too.
Ага, как же.
В Небыляндии у меня будет своя собственная собака. И
Oh my god. This is too wholesome for me. Olia smeared a slice of bread with a thick layer of condensed milk and handed it to me.
А у тебя все молочные молочные зубы выпали.
Конечно.
Olia frowned, deep in thought.
У Питера Пэна зубы молочные. Вдруг со взрослыми зубами тебя не пустят в его страну?
Oh my god.
Мы что-нибудь обязательно придумаем.
Попросим папу исправить тебе возраст в паспорте.
С чего это папа будет документы подделывать?
Olia took a bite from the sandwich and started talking with her mouth full.
Будет. Мама говорила, что он так делал. А я подслушала.
Смотри, уши вырастут,
Her
как у
ears
Дамбо.
as big as Dumbo's. Olia got worried and touched her ear. I smiled to myself. My little sister was silent now. She devoured bread, watching the adventures of Peter Pan, Tinker Bell, and James Hook. As if she got sucked into the fairy tale Neverland. To be honest, I also imagined myself there in a land where no one ages, where no one argues over little things, where no one listens to the fights and the sound of broken plates at night. It felt like I was dreaming with my eyes still open. Then my sister's scream pulled me back to reality.
Тоже скорее штору задерни.
Зачем? Никто же на тебя не смотрит.
Уже темно, а когда темнеет, прилетает сова. Я боюсь.
I got out of bed, fighting my drowsiness, and closed the curtains. I did my best not to look outside toward the treetops, toward the taiga forest, which seemingly drew closer and closer. Of course, it was just a visual effect of the shadows of branches scraping the snow.
Тоже. Мама думает, что я напридумывала про сову. И папа считает, что раз я маленькая, это значит врушка. А сова есть. Вот честная-пречестная, есть она. Ты же мне веришь, что она там и каждую ночь прилетает и...
I quickly grabbed Olia's hand and looked her in the eyes. I was trying to treasure at least some of my courage and determination. But did I really have those
Я
qualities?
тебе верю, слышишь? Ты только родителям больше не рассказывай про сову. У них и так хлопот по горло, они только рассердятся. Ты мне говори, если что случится. И в окно не смотри.
Ну, она хочет, чтобы я смотрела.
Перехочет. Притворись, что ее нет и не было никогда, что она выдумка, как родители говорят. И ждать надоест, она улетит.
We followed Peter Pan's adventures as if nothing had happened, as if the forest didn't kidnap kids, as if our parents weren't tearing each other apart bit by bit. Captain Hook was running away from a crocodile, and Captain Pan was headed to London on a gilded sailboat. By some miracle, I lasted longer than my little sister. Olia's eyelids had dropped. She started snorting lightly, resting her chin on the side of the bed. I stood up and left Olia's room. I was looking out the window, studying the field, when Mom peeked into my room.
Довольно баловства. Завтра первый день в школе. Ложись, тебе надо выспаться. Не хочешь же ты, чтобы тебя все дразнили Соней?
I don't think everything's so simple, as if sound sleep would ensure my classmates would like me. I covered myself with a blanket up to my neck and listened to the house humming to something invisible rustling in the corners. My inner voice had a question for me. Do I want to hear that mysterious flute again? Yes or no? Maybe it's just a part of growing up and I can't fully understand my own desires. The forest wailed behind the barrier that was my walls. Some ethereal entity wandered the fields. Branches shook as if calling for me. The wind howled on and on in the night. My thoughts were like annoying flies that had entered my head before becoming weak and tangled. I didn't notice how I fell into slumber. It has come, after all, the day I feared the most, the first day of a new school term. Okay. I think this is a good cutoff point. We are now on episode 2. Time to play with you. And we will save here, and we will continue this on another day. say? Another day? I mean, it's we're probably gonna get some more done tomorrow morning. Till then.